Hello everyone, welcome back to RP e-learning. My name is Yariman Andre. I'm an instructor in mechanical department. Today I'm going to teach you the lesson of lathe machine operations. In our lesson today, we are going to learn how to operate the lathe machine while the work is between the chuck and the center. Let's get started. At the end of this session, learner will be able to mount a workpiece between the chuck and the live center. He will also learn how to do the setup tool. He will also learn to perform different operations like facing, centering, straight turning, chamfering, and thread cutting. Let's check on our drawing sheet. If you look to our drawing sheet, our task today is to create a bolt like this one. As you see, there is threads on this surface, which means today we learn how to do some operation like thread cutting. If we analyze how this job will be done, we'll think about the lower material, the blank material to be used. Today we use a mild steel, this one. We are sure this bolt will come from this blank material. We have also to think on different tools to be used. Remember, the workpiece will be mounted between the chuck and the drive center. If we mount the piece between chuck and drive center, we will need to use this center drill. There will be a spot on one side where the drive center will support the tools. Then the other tools to be used, today we use this tool. It's an insert carbide cutting tool. It will help us to perform different operations like facing and straight turning. Then we will need another cutting tool to perform the operation of thread cutting. This tool, high speed steel cutting tool, designed to create threads. If you look at the shape, it will help us to create threads. As I said, we will perform different operations like facing, centering, plane turning, or straight turning, chamfering. Then we will also finish by cutting threads. And at the end, we will make sure that this nut will be able to be inside this bolt, passing through these threads. Remember, the purpose of this bolt is to create an assembly between different parts. Remember, it is what we call a temporary joint. If you want to join different parts, you can use a bolt. So we'll start by taking this part, taking also this chuck key, and we fix the part inside the chuck. Please make sure that the workpiece is well fixed. Then we take this cutting tool. We take also this tool post key. We fix this tool inside the tool post. Then we check the tool, the center height. This is what we call tool setup. For this tool, we are sure, because it has a thickness of 20 millimeter, we will not need to put some metal shim. It is exactly located at the center height. Now, we can start. We make sure that there is a coolant. We check if the pump is working. We need to use coolant. Then, I think this speed is enough. We start by facing. We remember to put coolant. Now the facing is done. It's time for centering. We are going to remove this live center inside this tailstock. If you want, we can stop the machine. We remove this live center. We take this center drill inside this chuck. Remember, when you are centering, please don't reach this diameter. Make sure that there is this taper, but don't reach this diameter so that the live center will support very well the workpiece. We fix the chuck. We make sure that the center drill is well fixed inside the drill chuck. Then we approach the workpiece, we lock the tailstock, we turn the machine, then we start centering. Now it's okay, centering is done. We remove the center drill inside the chuck. We take the live center, we fix it inside the tailstock, on the quill of the tailstock. We go to the workpiece. Now it's time to mount the workpiece between the chuck and the live center. You unlock the tailstock. The live center is inside the center hole. Then we tight the workpiece. Before we tight the workpiece, remember, we are going to perform a straight turning on a distance equal to 140. We make sure that this distance is not just inside the jaws, it's behind the jaws, and we are sure there is a safe distance between the jaws and the tool tip. The part is well fixed. You turn the machine. As you see, now the work is going to be machined while it is located between the chuck and the tailstock. As you see, if there was no tailstock to support our workpiece, maybe vibration and chattering can rise when we are machining. Then we can start. Remember, we are using an insert carbide cutting tool. We can take a depth of cut which is not similar to the depth of cut we take when we are using a high-speed steel. We start by touching on this outside diameter. For the first time, at least we set this micrometer here on this hand wheel. At least we start by removing 2 millimeter. I measure the diameter. Now the diameter is equal to 48.4. Remember, I'm going to look for a diameter of 24. Remember to not lean on the machine like this. It is not acceptable. Always stand like this. And you make sure that you are looking what is happening on your job. Make sure there is enough coolant. And make sure that the coolant is between the cutting tool and the workpiece. You can stop. We just want to remove those chips. $24 is okay. I increase the speed. $24 is okay. Let's check our distance of 140. Remember, this point is located at 0. I'm going to set this hand wheel micrometer to 0. I know 1 ton is equal to 29 millimeter. Now I'm going to make 4 ton. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on 4 I'm going to add 24 millimeter. This distance is equal to 140. Then I will touch where 24 millimeter is located, and I can put a small groove, a small fillet. I'm sure the distance is okay. Now remember, we are going to cut threads at a distance of 48 millimeter. We are going to mark where 48 is located. This distance will be covered by threads, and it is not supposed to be at a diameter of 24. Now it's okay. Remember, everywhere when you want to cut threads, you make sure that the thread starts with a chamfer. So The chamfer will be obtained by using the same cutter to be used for thread cutting. Now it's time to fix that tool. It is already set it. I know those two shims will help me to put this tool at the center height. I checked before I start. Remember, we are going to create, after putting the chamfer, we'll create metric threads with a pitch of 3 millimeters, and our cutting tool is sharpened at 60 degrees. We'll use also this pitch gauge to measure if we are at the right depth of cut. Then at the end, we'll use this bolt to check if our threads is in good condition so that this nut can be turned very easily. And you need to make sure that your tool is perpendicular to the axis of machine. You take the tool post key after making sure that the machine or cutting tool or this compound rest will not touch to any parts. That's why I cleaned this compound rest at this angle of 30 degrees. It will help me also to feed when I'm cutting threads. As I said, always make sure there is a chamfer before you start. Now it's time to create the chamfer at the start point of these threads. Simply by using this cutting tool, we are doing what we call forming. This chamfer, I hope it is enough. Now, it's time to set our pitch. Looking at this quick change gearbox, we are looking for a pitch of 3 millimeters. We look here, there is this knob and there is those different levels. Then, if you are looking for a pitch of 3 millimeters, we found 3 here. The knob will be rotated at 3. Then we'll engage this D. Yeah, if it is not well engaged, you can turn a little bit on the chuck. Now D is engaged, F is engaged. Then we are supposed to be at H also, and the screw, lead screw also must be engaged. And it's better to reduce the speed. This speed is enough. As you see, the lead screw is turning. Now, I'm going also to check here. This command is supposed to be in the middle according to the command of this machine. If I want to cut threads, this one is supposed to be in the middle. Once I push, it's because I want to use the automatic motion of the cross slide. Once it is full pulled, It's because I want to use the automatic motion of the carriage, but now it is in the middle. In the middle, it is where I can cut threads. Remember, there is what we call half nut. This half nut will be engaged in the reed screw. As you see, once I engage, the carriage is going itself. Now I can cut thread, but as you see, in this direction, the carriage is going in this direction. Unless if I want to cut left hand threads, but my thread is right hand, so I want to change the direction of the reed screw. Now it's okay. We can start by checking if we are at the 3 millimeter as pitch is very set. By using this pitch gauge, I'm going to check. Yeah, it is exactly 3 millimeter. You can even use this vernier caliper. 3 millimeter is okay, and this is what I'm looking for. Then I'm going to set this vernier at 0, so that this will be my start point. And to feed, I will use this. Now I release the cutting tool. As you see, when I reverse the direction of the chuck, the cutting tool also will go back to the start point. By use this brake, remember, when I was at 0, this was the start point. I can start feeding by use of this one. Like I can feed 0.5 here. Now, I start cutting threads. Once I reach 48, I release the cutting tool. Now I can use oil so that I can check threads. I stop by the use of this brake pedal. I go to the start point located at 0. Now I feed again. I feed another one is 0.5. I check. Once I reach the end, I release.